Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Everybody is what I just said.
You want to start again?
No, let's just keep going. I'm going to stick with that.
I like it. I'm Casey Wilson.
I'm Danielle Schneider. Welcome to Bitch Sesh, the Real Housewives Breakdown podcast.
My gosh, what a night.
We are also flying free today. No guests.
No one but the two of us.
So get ready to hear our voices and only our voices. Sorry.
Guys, we have such a special treat at the top of the show tonight. I am dying of excitement, and by that I mean terrified and scared.
Now, we at Bitch Sesh, we really put our lives in danger, I think, taken years off of our lives at this point.
But we're on the front lines.
Yeah, of trying things that the world hasn't tried yet. Mostly Housewives-related products.
Of which there seem to be no end.
I feel like we could be doing this podcast 12 years from now, and they'll still be like a Ramono Pinot Grigio.
Cranking them out.
On the market.
Well, this little ditty that I've got in my hands.
So pretty little ditty.
Is smaller than I thought, and it is one Jules Weinstein's Modern Alchemy, a clearing tonic.
Now, Casey asked me before we went on, what is a clearing tonic? And I said to her what I think is, it'll make you shit your pants. Which is what I believe a clearing tonic does.
And
perhaps.
I think this tonic will clear you at a moment's notice.
Yeah, but it's...
I don't think you're going to get a ton of warning on this one.
I think you're going to be in your car and say goodbye to your front seat.
Say goodbye to your hopes and dreams and
your asshole, really. Because that thing's going to be blown wide open.
Blow the doors off your asshole.
So, some things are going to be harder and some things are going to be easier from now on for you.
I'll tell you what, it's a small bottle that April's sister got for us in New York.
She went to a billion Whole Foods, yes?
Monique,
her sister Monique.
Mouton.
God bless you, Monique. You're doing God's
friend
work.
of the show. Found this at a Whole Foods and sent it to us across the country. So this clearing tonic has traveled, and I don't like that about it.
Was it wrapped in an ice, or does it not need to be iced?
It was also wrapped in a Ritalin Cash. It is
we all hope to be
shit green color.
It really is. It is the color of the shit that will come out of your butt.
All right, Danielle.
Sorry, guys.
Now, let me tell everyone the color. First of all, what size would you put that at? Like a kind of
I don't know, Matt.
Small soy sauce? Oh, God, I don't mean...
I thought you were asking me to say like a quart or a pint.
I don't mean for you to guess the ounces. I mean, just what can we relate it to?
You know a child's milk? Like a child's size.
Yeah,
like a school-size milk.
Yes. And let me just read the ingredients very quickly. It just says simply ancient Japanese recipe. So just right off the bat, don't ask it questions. Yeah. Coconut water, lemon matcha, and ghost pepper. Highly perishable.
What does that mean?
I don't know, but this is not meant to have...
Highly perishable?
And by the way, Monique sent this a long time ago.
Has it? But it's been in your fridge for a while.
Yes.
When does it spoil?
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just reading the back. It says, to a life of longevity. This multi-generational recipe was originally crafted to promote a life of longevity and radiance, beautifully arranging Earth's most potent detoxifiers, including getting Michael Weinstein out of your life.
I was listening like it was for
I know. It will leave you feeling spicy and new.
Oh.
Okay. Jules and
Chloe.
Chloe.
She didn't throw in anything Jewish. She always is like, I'm Asian and Jewish.
Yeah,
I'm surprised
there's no
there isn't gefilte fish in the recipe.
It just says oi on the top. Okay, we're going to take a little dab will do ya. And I think a dab will do ya.
Dab will do us just fine.
Now,
I'm so scared.
I'm unclear on how it's supposed to be.
Drank?
Yes.
Drunken?
Okay, first of all, a smell has lingered. It is filling up the nook.
Ooh! That's a smell.
Guys, I don't think I can drink this. It's making me feel...
I can put any slop down my mouth, so I'm just going to try this.
I'm smelling like, what is that? Like
a rubbing alcohol?
It's way stronger than that. That rubbing alcohol I would welcome. It's like a
hospital floor cleaner? To get out blood stains.
This is what I imagine the concentration of a liquid that you would clean the shit off your bed sheets.
As you will need to do later tonight.
So maybe you can use this after you shit yourself sideways. Maybe you can use it as a cleanser.
All right, Casey, cheers.
Do we shoot it?
I think we shoot it.
Much like a tequila shot, I'm going to have to take it in stages. Okay, one. It's disgusting. Okay. You guys, I'm not even joking. My hands are sweating and tingling. Woo! It's bad, right?
I don't think it's bad. I honestly
What
don't
do you
think
don't?
it's bad.
I think
Get back up.
Ooh. I don't mean to be rude. I say after I've just like practically thrown it up.
I don't think it's bad, but I also might throw up.
It's definitely working its magic.
Is that an alarm for us going to die?
I'm going to take a larger step. Oh, wow. There's so many flavors to it. There's so many ins and outs.
I might gag.
Yeah, I know we're supposed to be describing it, but I'm losing language. April, what do you got?
What'd you think, April?
It's potent.
Spicy river.
A spicy river. A lazy river.
A lazy river that
What did you...
polluted, sort of
Mossy, I'm hearing.
mossy. Yeah. See, it wasn't that.
But it's a lot of
bad going-
ginger.
I do like the gingerness of it.
My throat's on fire.
Yeah.
Although now I'm wondering, because you know when things taste so bad, you think they're good for you.
I'm having the opposite reaction because going down it wasn't that bad, but now I truly might throw up.
See, for me, it's settling in and I'm starting to enjoy it. Ooh, it's got a front like
I
you wouldn't
also-
believe.
I did it like a shot. I drank it all in one shot. Wow. I'm scared.
That is really something. Clearing tonic indeed.
It's going to clear a lot of...
Well,
stuff out
guys,
tonight.
look.
Guys, we might not survive this podcast, and if I have to run out in the middle, we'll just put on a commercial.
If we ever go to commercial, please know what's happening.
If there are 12 commercials, the same commercials, you know what's happening.
I'll tell you guys. So it's the Olympics.
Oh, God damn it is.
And, you know, as you do, you know, everything's preempted during the Olympics.
Can I say, I love America, but
As
this
do
is,
I. But this is ridiculous.
Ridiculous. You're really going to preempt all of our Bravo shows? Come on.
Not even a below deck can get past.
I mean, come on, guys. That's just not fair.
I feel like if you're watching Bravo, you're never going to watch the Olympics.
We're not an athletic people that watch Bravo.
I know. We're obviously sitting on our couch watching other people sit on their couches.
My sports. This is my sports.
This is my Olympics.
So Bravo, don't take on the Olympics.
And Bravo, start some programs, some counter programming. You know, put them all in a javelin competition.
Make Bethany run. I don't care. Just do something. But
It's unacceptable is what it is.
really,
We were so hamstrung. Here we were, you know, we have our podcast. And so we decided to do what anyone would do when the Olympics are on, which is not watch them and download the pilot episode. We're going back
going back in time,
of Real Housewives of New York.
and wow, it
Wow.
was. We're gonna get to that, but
Yeah.
it was wow. I
mean, join us. I hope you will watch it. You can pause this and go give it a look so that you know what we're talking about. But I'll tell you the one thing I'll say, it will all come back to you.
yes, it all started there.
Fit like a glove.
Yeah, and it also everything is as it's supposed to be. You see
mysterious.
the threads. You see the threads.
Yeah.
They started the threads, and it all led to now perfectly.
I want to make a transition there because speaking of, okay, I saw a psychic 2 nights ago.
Burping. Sorry. And I just don't want to be rude. I'm so sorry.
I definitely am still tasting it.
It's just
Can you imagine drinking a whole thing?
No,
of
that's
this?
why it's so small. Because you can only handle so much.
I wonder if Monique, how much was this?
Monique, shoot us an email. How much was this? Okay, so
Yeah, Monique, we need to reimburse you.
So
Okay,
you
so
were
the
saying,
dots that I'm
Casey.
connecting are like, you know, at the beginning of New York, I felt like we saw exactly where the universe was headed. It was so obvious. And much like in our own lives, things happen that it's obvious.
yeah.
I went and saw a psychic 2 nights ago. Matt McConkey, our friend.
Yes, our friend and who's a friend of the podcast.
I have a very bad headache suddenly. I'm not lying. No,
We might have to shut
it's
down
like
this podcast.
frontal lobe. It's piercing. I'm not kidding.
Oh, I'm not kidding. I might throw up.
And it's still making its way down my chest. It's like radiating heat.
I can feel it too.
Wow.
You guys, if we die tonight, tell our
I'm
families
chasing
we
it
love
with
them.
wine. I don't feel well.
I'm chasing it with Starburst, which I'm sure is
Tell my son I had to do this podcast about the Real Housewives. He'll understand.
So you saw a psychic. Did she tell you we were going to die tonight?
She did, but I didn't take it seriously.
Well, you should have warned us.
No, but she didn't spare me at all.
Like, what did she say?
Okay, so Matt McConkey just calls me. He's like, there's a woman named Senora.
Sorry. Senora is her name or her title?
Her name.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, not her name, but what we are to call her.
Oh, okay.
Senora.
I thought you meant like her, like, because that's like someone being named Mrs.
I know.
Okay, so Senora.
Senora's a much older gal.
Okay.
But her son, who's young, I mean, and she's a much older gal with respect to her. And her son is about 12 or 13, and he translates for her. And she comes from Mexico twice a year to LA and does these kind of tarot card readings, and you know, she's
reputable.
And she's supposed to be an unbelievable psychic. As reputable as they come.
Yes. And if you're going to get a psychic, you need a reputable one.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
not some willy-nilly flim-flam
charlatan.
man.
I mean, well, you know, I'm into all of this stuff.
Of course. And I am too.
Yeah. Well, we haven't even discussed on this show Heidi Rose Robbins.
We have to.
If you are listening to this show, we should just devote an entire show to Heidi Rose Robbins.
If you are in Los Angeles or even want an online reading.
Or over the phone.
Heidi Rose Robbins.
She's an astrologer. And when I tell you, she's life-changing. She's predicted things I wouldn't even...
As I've said on this podcast, I was having a problem having a kid, having a baby. And she had said to me, you will have a baby in a year. And I was like, that's pretty rough stuff to say to a person that can't have a baby.
It's
a year
bold.
later, I had a baby. Anyway.
She predicted marriages. She told me when to break up with people and how to do it. She's so full of grace and beauty. She's the most charming, normal person in the world.
Look her up on the internets.
Heidi Rose Robbins. Anyway, so this was a departure from Heidi.
Different psychic.
This is Senora.
Yeah.
And you know, I also saw a man named Glenn in Brooklyn who was a baby psychic when I was pregnant with Max. I told you what he said about my mom.
What did he say about my mom?
Did I already say this on the show?
I don't think so, but you know, if we hear it
I'm
again,
over the phone. I literally just met this man over the phone. Max is in utero. And my mom has passed, and I really went into it. I was like, I don't want him to say anything about my mom, you know, because it's obviously, you know, emotions there. And at the very end, I just decided to venture out. And I'm like, how bad could it be? He's not going to say anything bad because, you know. And Glenn from Brooklyn, an older gentleman, who I still get crowdsourcing emails from for his artistic project.
And you will forever. FYI.
Until the day I die, which I happen to know from Senora. Glenn just goes, so I go, and I really felt I was going out on a limb with my feelings. So I go, is my mom met Max? You know? And he goes, you know, yeah, but they're not close. He goes, they do see each other, but like it's in passing. You know, kind of like he goes, they know each other, but it's not.
They're not best
and it
friends.
kind of trailed off, like you know how like in passing. My son and my mother are acquaintances
at best.
At best,
if they even acknowledge each other.
Yeah,
if they're just passing. Like, I know him, but I don't want to say hi right now. I'm busy.
Yeah,
that is
so. Senora, in a nutshell. She literally is turning over all these cards, and her son is translating. Her son is the most lovely guy. And she just turns over cards, and immediately she goes, "Tu mama is dead." I'm like, whoa, here we go again, you know, with Glenn.
God.
So she tells me.
That's crazy. That's the first thing she sees.
She just literally turns a card over, points to it, and says, "Tu mama is dead." And I'm like, ooh. We go into some things. Basically, all I can say is the beginning of it seemed like she was knowing things. She's like, you have a brother. And she's like, everybody loves your brother. He is such a hard worker, which I guess people could say about everyone. And then she's like, just casually tells me that someone's put a curse on my son. I know.
Casey.
I know. It's dark. And she said, but then she's like, it's not unjust. It's just, she's like, it's not evil. It's just they've this person that I know. And she's like, all you have to do. And she then acted like it was not a big deal. She's like, you just have to get a red piece of yarn and put it around his ankle or his wrist for 3 months.
Are you getting it?
He's wearing it now. I drove myself to Mood Fabrics. And I was actually excited for a chance to go to Mood. After, you know, Project Runway, I've heard so much about it.
Oh, wow. I don't know.
Look, I'm seeing shock in your face. I've been wrestling with this for a few days. It's not what you want to hear.
No, but that's so tough to hear because, again, you know, I sort of go in and out of this psychic stuff. Like I believe, and then sometimes I don't. But the minute someone says anything about my child, I need to get on it.
Well, and I stopped her and I said, I got to tell you, I cannot hear anything else that's bad. And she was like, no, it's not bad. It's just basically like they're in much much like the passing relationship between my mother and son, this person is in the process of trying to get a spell going. So it hasn't gotten off the ground yet, it sounded like. There was still time for me to get some yarn on it.
Will this modern alchemy fix it?
And then this morning he had kicked off his red bracelet. I was like, evil's here!
Casey, that's really upsetting.
It was very upsetting. And my therapist is out of town for the month of August.
What? Why do they take August off? What are you supposed to do in August?
She's an analyst, Danielle. I don't know. I seem as though I'm joking about it and I'm lighthearted. There was a lot of angst about this because it's one of those things where, well, what if she's right?
I would be this, excuse me.
I tried to tell you about my son and his spell and you're burping and shitting yourself.
It's not what I want either.
How rude,
This is not what I want for us right now.
Thought you would.
I'm trying so hard to keep everything in my body right now. So anyway, this is really.
You're also wearing quite a pair of hot pants. A real short.
Guys, I'm wearing a short tonight, and I know I've spoken out against shorts, but I am now speaking for them. I am a
I hope they don't start speaking.
What?
For you. Oh, that doesn't make sense.
Speaking soon. But Casey, that's so upsetting. That's really frightening news. And
I know.
I'm
Moving on
lightly. Also because of the Olympics, not only did we watch New York, but we were sort of forced to go international this week. A lot of people on the Bitch Sesh Facebook group and on Twitter and Instagram have been just screaming the merits of Melbourne, which is located in Australia, and Vancouver, which is located in Canada?
You went further than I did. You went all the way to Melbourne.
Yes, I went all the way to Melbourne, Australia, and I only watched one episode.
So dipped your toe.
I just dipped my toe in, and I have to say...
Who did we find there?
This is what I found. You can tell it's not a housewife show, that it doesn't sort of have the Andy blessing, and I looked it up. It is not. Andy doesn't do the reunions, so then if it's not sort of like kissed by Andy, I don't know what I trust.
I feel like they need to be under the same umbrella or not at all.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way.
Kind of janky.
It feels like when they have like at an airport KFC is not like KFC. And granted, neither of them are great. Okay. But
you like your KFC to be sanctioned.
To be sanctioned, not sort of like a janky airport one.
Yeah.
And
you've always said that.
I've always said that. I've stood true to KFC and what the brand represents, right?
Yes.
KFC, send me something. So I just have to say, so this felt like, yes, the airport version of The Real Housewives. Like it had all the kind of trappings of it, but something smelled a little different to me. That said...
You loved every second.
I loved every second. I did, guys. And I could see myself getting into it. There were some great characters named. There's a human being named Petty Fleur.
Petty?
Pettifleur.
Ooh.
Another human named Gamble.
Much like Mr. Corey Gamble over at Keeping Up with the Kardashians way.
Exactly. Another human named Chica. Chyca.
Ooh, I wasn't expecting that Y to creep in.
So lots of crazy names, and then like someone named Janet. And you're like, what happened to you?
Janet.
Why is your name so sad? But at one point, this was some of my favorite moments. Oh, the other thing I found comforting was that like, it's just still what we love about Housewives, which is a bunch of heavily made up women who look like drag queens screaming at each other.
Sure.
So that I found comforting. Yeah. And it's nice to know wherever you go around the world, screaming ladies are the same. Yeah. Like it doesn't change. And I found in this time
it's like there's no one language for
the language
monsters.
It's screaming monsters. They all speak the same language.
And that does feel nice.
It felt nice. It felt comforting. It's like I can go anywhere in the world and be screamed at.
Be harassed.
And understand it.
Yeah.
What was happening. But here's some just highlights. Petty Fleur and her sister were having a conversation and her sister was mad at her. Her sister's not like a main character on the show, from what I can glean. And she said to her, you need to be normal. You need to be normal and natural. You're all up yourself. And then Petty Fleur says, "How am I up myself? That's crazy." And then the camera widens out, and Petty Fleur is standing in her living room in front of a picture of Petty Fleur, like a huge picture of Petty Fleur, of just her face, which I thought was great editing.
Yeah,
fabulous editors. You've always said the editors of Real Housewives are the best comedy editors in the world. And then her sister says, you know nothing about me. You don't know where I work, and I've worked there for 10 years.
Ooh.
And then Petty Flish says, I can't remember everything. Which I thought was
classic Petty Flair.
perfect. And then one woman's like, I'm meeting with my stepdaughter today. I haven't talked to her in a while. She wanted to have a good relationship with me, but I just couldn't do it. Just the saddest
couldn't
thing
do it.
I've ever heard. And then the last thing I will say is that they have a housekeeper that is in and looks like just kind of like sad and like so just put upon by these women. And one
real staple character.
this woman, Lydia.
It's like Commedia dell'arte. Like, we know the stock characters.
Exactly. So there's a put upon housekeeper, and this woman, the housekeeper's like cleaning up, and the woman says to her, don't you sometimes just want to sit down and read a book? And the housekeeper's just like cleaning up after. It was so sad.
Perfectly
but it was
timed.
amazing. I think they even maybe wear more makeup. Like, they even look more drag queen-esque. But, Australia is, what it is. I have never been, so I can't really say, I can't speak to what everybody looks like in Australia, but they seemed especially made up.
Wow.
So, I don't know. I'm going to give it another turn, if you will.
I will too.
Yeah. It was,
People are raving about it.
yeah, they love it. And again, not a true Housewives, airport Housewives, but that's okay.
I dipped into Vancouver, and by dipped in, I watched the opening credits. And because on the Facebook group, someone's posted all the links.
Thank you, Facebook group.
It's really hard to track it down. It's not on iTunes. And she has painstakingly posted every single episode, and there's quite a discussion, a thoughtful discussion going on about the material. And it's wild.
Yeah.
All I can say is it's so bobo and just like in Vancouver, I don't know. Again, having only seen about 15 seconds of it, it's hard to critique it, but I will.
Mm-hmm. Of course you
There's
will.
a lot
You
of
have strong opinions, even when you don't have much information.
100%.
I love that about you.
There's a lot of fur, like cuffs, just like a fur cuff will be on, and someone will have like a huge fur coat or like those Sonia hats that she's always wearing, kind of those Russian.
Yes.
It's like, we get it, guys. You're in a cold climate.
Yeah, calm down.
Yeah, calm
That's what
down.
makes you different, we know.
But it promises a lot, so I'm going to stick with Vancouver.
Okay, I'm interested to dive in, but I sometimes feel like Canada's almost like too close to us, so what am I going to get? And also, like, they're sort of the nicest people in the world, so are they
Well,
gonna
see,
fight?
they're actively playing against that clearly.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's the thing of it. It's like, you thought we were one thing. It's like, I didn't even think about you.
Actually, we didn't think about you. That's the truth.
No. Yes. Danielle, you're holding something in front of you that is pretty special.
Guys, I have made mention on this podcast that I went to elementary school with one Kandi Burruss. Now, I was not good friends with her, and I doubt she remembers me. And
Doesn't seem like she would know you.
No, not. You could put me in a lineup, she wouldn't be able to pick me out. That said, I don't remember her either. But but we were not in the same class.
Slam.
I slam, Kandi. Look who's winning now. Oh yeah, you wrote No Scrubs. Anyway. So
And has a vibrator shop.
yeah, she does have her, what is it, Candy Coated Nights? Is that a podcast? Does she have a podcast too? Are we rival podcasts?
I don't believe Candy's gotten into the
Or she had like
oral
a show.
waters.
But
It's Bedroom Candy.
Bedroom Candy, that's it. So anyway, I went to elementary school with her, but I had sort of forgotten about it. We weren't in the same class, and I don't remember her. And again, she does not remember me. But my father randomly was like cleaning out anything left of me in the house. I guess. Sadly, he was like, take any memories of you. And no, he's very sweet. He just wanted to give me back my shit. So he sent me like a bunch of old pictures and all my yearbooks. And I was looking through my 4th grade yearbook.
Oh my
and
God.
just looking at old people.
My heart's racing. I have not
And
seen
there
this.
do I see Miss Kandi Burruss in front of me. And so I'm going to show Casey, and I will post a picture of this online.
What a cute yearbook.
It's so cute.
It's
you
really
guys.
cute.
Here is one. Casey Wilson. She's adorable. Miss Kandi Burruss.
Oh my gosh, she's so cute.
Isn't she adorable?
Yes, she really is. So cute. I love Kandi. She looks so sweet.
She's a superstar.
You know, Kandi, as I've said before, is the only housewife I have respect for.
She really is. Not? She has 2 houses.
She's a mogul.
Right next to each other.
She's a writer. She's smart. She's normal. She looks so adorable.
Her new baby is amazing. I follow her on Instagram. That little baby is gorgeous.
She looks so cute.
She's so cute.
She really, I'm like feeling very connected to her.
I do. I feel like
as a kid.
And now I'm like, oh, I kind of remember her face. Like
Don't,
it's all,
Danielle.
I know.
Come
Sorry,
on.
I'm trying.
Let's not go there.
We weren't friends. We weren't in the same class.
Can I
It's
see
not my
you?
fault. Well, now I had a.
Now, how many years ahead are we flipping?
I was 1 year, 1 year ahead, guys. I'm not an old woman. Well, I am. Now, here's the thing. I had a fight in the 5th grade.
Okay.
With my best friend. And she got hold of my yearbook and she scratched out my face.
Erica?
No, another friend at the time who remained nameless because she was not a nice person. So she scratched out my face in my school picture and she wrote terrible things about all these people.
What a bully.
Yeah, and so I whited it out.
Oh, you didn't white it good enough.
I know, you can see what
Oh
some of
my
these things.
God. Wait, Danielle? Oh my God. Wait, what grade are you in, Danielle?
I was in 5th grade. She
You
was a
guys, I have
mean
not
girl.
even found Danielle yet, but what I'm seeing whited out horribly are the words dickless, no dick, slut.
On a 5th grader's face.
Guys, this is 5th grade.
Yeah, this girl is
Penis,
mean.
witch. She says goody goody bitch.
Over her picture, and we won't say her name, she wrote something very nice.
She wrote the best.
Yes.
And then she writes country girl over another girl, schmuck over someone, and then simply blowjob under someone.
Which I can't even remember knowing about in the 5th grade. So,
And then she calls someone baby spelled Babie. Oh my God. Someone is
girl.
fatso. Someone's Mr. Strawberry Shortcake.
She was very mean. And look, she crossed out my face.
Wait, where are you?
The face that's crossed out.
Wait, where?
Here I am. Oh, no, it's the second page.
Oh,
there I am.
My God, you guys. This is the work of a mad woman. Honestly, no, this is really scary.
Yeah.
This is like...
She was, and she turned a story for another day, but she turned everyone in school against me.
Guys, this woman is a nut. Yes. I'm terrified of her. She has crossed out Danielle's face,
she did, and our
scribbled
teacher's
all
face,
over her hair.
Yeah.
And
then I got my yearbook. She had taken my yearbook. You know how like you go around to get people's signatures?
I'm so upset, Danielle.
It was so sad. It was really mean.
No, Danielle, I'm getting tears in my eyes. This is horrible.
Yeah, I had a bad year, guys.
This
but Kandi Burruss, that's the real story
I'm
here.
scared of this girl, though.
Yeah, who
Seriously.
knows? Maybe she's a doctor without borders now. Who knows?
Oh my gosh. Then below she's writing fucker, big mouth. What is this?
She's not nice.
Oh my God. This woman is disturbed.
Yeah,
I would not be surprised if...
then. There's another picture of me somewhere in this.
That's really sad, Danielle.
Cute. Yeah, it was a tough year, guys. It was a tough year. Here I am.
Did you cry when you got this?
Oh, yeah. I didn't want to go to school ever again. Like, it was guys, it was
This is genuine.
There I am.
She didn't get you there, did she?
No, she didn't.
She let you fly. Although it seems like she did color in your hair.
Yeah, she did. She
found every picture of you. I'm not laughing, Danielle.
No.
This
and
is
there's my
horrible.
girlfriend, Erica, who you've met many times.
Oh, she colored in Erica's hair. Oh my, you look adorable.
Thank
and this
you.
person is
a monster.
A monster.
They made my life hell for a very long time. So guys, it gets better.
My gosh, Danielle, this is really upsetting actually.
Sorry, that's not what I meant to bring up today.
But it's what we needed to talk about.
Yeah, I guess so. It was a tough year, but I sprung back. I would be
so upset if this happened. This would take me like
permanently.
20 years to get over.
Talk about it in therapy, guys. It happened.
I mean, you made no mention of this. Yeah. This girl's what my mom would call fast.
She was. She was way ahead of the game. She was doing things with boys way before I even knew what they were.
Yeah.
It was a tough year. Some people stuck behind me. Some people did not.
And so how did she even get a hold of that yearbook? What an animal.
Like you're all signing yearbooks.
Yeah, it's a frenzy. Frenzy.
And you're just kind of passing them around. I'm sure I just left it somewhere. She had once been like my best friend in my class, or one of my best friends.
Oh, that's clear.
And then she turned on me.
All I can say, Danielle, is I am so sorry. That's
I can't
horrible.
trust people, but it's fine. Ooh, sorry, everyone. It got real dark here for a minute.
I'm upset, honestly.
Don't be upset. I'm fine.
I think we need to take a break. We'll be back. And we're back. Wow, we have just taken a long break where we're just discussing Danielle's yearbook and honestly, bullying in it is leading me to just kind of draw this conclusion. I'm sitting here feeling a little bit badly because I do feel like we're legitimately this podcast, we're kind of like, I would say, making fun of these people that are on television.
That's true.
And that's, I guess this isn't the solution, but we of course advocate for no tagging, because as nasty as we can be about these people that, yes, they have chosen to be on television, we don't want them to find out.
No,
I feel like we're a good-hearted.
It's fun. And I believe that the people on these shows do take themselves not seriously, and if they do, it's all kind of what it is.
Yeah,
and it's with love. We love them. Yeah, they are our family. They are our friends, and sometimes
they're our sister soul sisters.
Yes, you're my sister soul sister. So it is what it is.
Yeah. But wow, I am so sorry that happened. Yeah. And you were just saying that you think it's kind of led you to
be a better person. Yes. Yeah. Be inclusive and be also,
which you are.
Yeah, and also just to kind of like, oh, I don't want anyone to like, except for the housewives, feel bad.
Yeah.
Housewives,
I refuse to put anyone down except for the housewives.
I have my limits.
Yeah.
And the housewives, I will say terrible things about you.
Exactly. Well, wow.
So that.
Well, I'm glad your dad sent you that yearbook.
Stroll down memory lane.
Wow, that really took me down. But I'm back.
Sorry,
Speaking of dads, maybe this will lighten the mood.
Please.
Speaking of fathers.
Yes, we all know yours.
Well, and you have such a sweet father who's also sent us many nice, glowing reviews of our podcast.
Yes, my father has never watched a Housewives episode, listens to every podcast. Hi, Dad.
And what does he always say? He finds us...
I just like to listen to you girls chat.
He likes our energy.
He likes our energy. He loves our energy. I hope everybody else likes our energy.
I do too. My father, I just thought this was so funny. This happened last week. So I told everyone, he has a Twitter account under P.O. Wilson where my brother and I discovered this Twitter account. It's like finding like Bridges of Madison County, like old love letters from your parents that have existed online, in which he was pocket tweeting his phone number. I've mentioned all this.
Yes.
His phone number, just catching some people up. His phone number, like PPPP, XXXXXX, and then was tweeting things he was meant to be texting people. Meet you in 5 minutes. See you there. How are you? Fine.
Love
this is a businessman also.
Yes.
My brother, so he's always pocket dialing my brother and I constantly.
Why doesn't he put a lock on his phone?
Oh, Danielle, he doesn't care. The man, if he pocket dials someone, he would sit there and just talk to them for an hour. He loves people. He loves to talk. A pocket dial to him is like a happy accident from the universe telling him he needs to just hunker down and chat. So he will pocket dial. We've had people like a dry cleaner be like, Paul, you called me like many times this week. Like his pocket dials are not like exclusive to anyone. He will call you constantly. He has now managed to pull the ultimate hat trick. The ultimate, I guess it's rabbit out of a hat.
Rabbit out of a hat, sure.
Yeah. Okay. My brother called him and he goes, it's so weird. And all the time he'll pick up the phone mid-conversation where he doesn't even realize he's answering the phone. And we're always like at dinner with him, or suddenly we're at a play. Or he'll answer the phone and be like, I'm in church. He will never
Don't answer your phone,
Danielle,
Paul.
But then you'll go, oh my God, I'll call you back. And he goes, I can talk. He's unbelievable.
But you can't, Dad. You can't.
This is a man who at my mother's funeral, when I was giving my speech, my voice audio dropped out and he booked me an ADR booth to go in and try to ADR some lines that I dropped. And he said he wanted me to match the tone with feeling. So for the DVD of my mom's funeral. He's a wild man.
He is a wild
man.
I have met him and I love him.
He's fun.
Yes.
So my brother calls me and he goes, it's so crazy. I called Dad and he keeps talking about this bookshelf. Okay. So I'm like, what? He goes, I don't know. Every time I call Dad, he's talking about a bookshelf.
What do you mean?
With his wife, my stepmom, talking about a bookshelf. And so Fletcher goes, finally, I realize he's not talking about a bookshelf. He has managed somehow to record himself talking about a bookshelf, and that has become his voicemail message. I mean, you have to press 20 buttons to get there.
I haven't changed mine because it's so hard to change.
It's so difficult to change. You and I could never figure it out.
I recorded it 5 years ago, and that's good enough.
So my brother thought for a few days, every time he called him, they were just still arguing over this bookshelf. And then different clients finally called the office. They're like, what's going on with Paul and this bookshelf? And it's so amazing. I just thought I would play it very quickly.
Please.
Okay.
Today or Friday? No, Thursday, I guess. I don't want to leave you.
Okay, so when I come back, maybe you can have.
I'll just go.
We shouldn't load up all those bookcases with tapes if we're going to move the bookcases
First
into the
thing,
center.
we're just going to take all that off.
Okay.
And then, we got to clear we could leave it in the garage for a day. But that's it. We can take it tomorrow. So we'll have them paint, get moving on the paint store. What's that called? You know the one on Route 1 that I like? It was closed. They have the best.
Sherwin-Williams.
No.
Sherman Williams. Was that what he said at the end? Sherwin? Is it Sherwin?
Sherman. I always thought it was Sherman Williams, but we should ask your dad. He probably knows.
So
and what
stupid.
when people would say to him like, Paul, what's up with your message? Would he just not
Guarantee he
understand?
was like, what? Like, they're crazy. And finally my brother called his secretary and was like, you got to change my dad's voicemail. Like, again, he's a businessman. He owns his own business.
Yeah,
like, it's not, I don't think, encouraging
It's unprofessional.
clients. Deeply so. He's like, I don't know how to work this thing. He goes, and then he goes, when I called him, he goes, can you believe it? He goes, how many buttons did I have to press to get there? He was thrilled with himself.
Oh, he
Lord.
is the best. I love that man.
Oh, God. Well, shall we get into this episode?
Yes, we should.
Should we take a quick break?
Yes, let's take a quick break. And we're back. But before we talk about New York, speaking of New York, actually, our awesome Facebook group, which astounds me every day, the New Yorkers in that group had a little meetup. The Whispering Aileen's had a meetup in New York City, and they took pictures. It was such a gorgeous group.
I mean, a lot of people had signed up that they were attending. I don't know exactly how many showed, but I know like 60 people, I believe, at RSVP that they were going. These are strangers.
And they're trying to do Facebook meetups in other cities, other towns. I mean, guys, we are starting a movement. Is this bigger than Oprah? I'm going to say yes.
A non-bullying, bullying movement.
And they are very sweet on the Facebook page.
Oh, they're
What I
such
like
sweet
about it,
girls
like, if
and
anyone-
funny.
Yeah, oh, so funny and smart.
And very sweet to each other on the page.
Yes.
No one's yelling at each other.
No,
It's
and everyone's
not that.
kind of, it is. It's a safe space, and everyone's kind of like laughing and liking, and there's just, it's a good
Laughing
group of-
and liking.
Yeah, laughing and liking. I want to live on that Facebook
They
page.
do. It's called
lovely.
Bitch Sesh by Aileen 2, a real podcast breakdown. You guys got to get on this Facebook group. The moderator is fierce and amazing.
Love them. And yeah, meetups. If you have meetups, please tell us more. We want pictures. We want minutes. We want to know everything.
I mean, someone alerted me really quick on the Facebook page to a rant that Kelly Dodd went on. It's on Reality Tea out front of the Nice Guy, ironic club she was trying to get into, ranting. She's apparently like had a lollipop that's blue and she keeps going like, and like sticking her tongue out. It's so distasteful.
And yet, so Kelly Dodd.
She keeps yelling, Google me, because they don't want to let her in. And then she's like, fine, I'll spend my money. They want my money down the street. And the bouncer's basically like, great, please leave. It's so embarrassing.
Oh, Kelly.
And she's
Kelly.
racist. It's just,
Is she?
it's bad. Bad.
Kelly.
Yeah. And then she's, always doing her signature jokes. She's like, I got my MBA, married but available. And everyone's like, ooh.
And that poor husband is probably there laughing.
He's probably at home, like, sadly folding his sequin shirt.
Oh, God, that marriage. That is.
I don't want a marriage
No,
to
I don't want a
succeed.
marriage to succeed. That is a marriage that has broken up once and should maybe give that another try.
They should give divorce a try.
They should. It works
I
for
think it'll be a
couples.
nice color on them.
Yeah, I do too.
That's a nice look for
Yeah,
them.
I agree. Like some couples are just better separate. I think
Yeah.
they're one of them.
Yeah.
God bless.
Well, should we get into New York? Pilot episode.
Pilot of New York City. It was a beautiful walk down memory lane, is all I have to say. I mean, I have a lot more to say, but it's all I have to say up top.
It felt like yesterday.
It did. I can't believe so. I've gotten married. I've had kids. I've tried Botox.
A lot has happened to us since then.
I mean, it is. Things have happened. Life has happened, and that is, and yet nothing. And yet these characters have grown. We got to see.
Have they, Danielle?
But no, Bethany has. Well, her house said. Like April said. Well, first of all, April said some of the funniest things that happened the entire podcast because
OMG.
April was coming to this, as you guys know, with fresh eyes.
So she's only seen, when she started with us about 4 months ago, worth of Housewives. She's seen nothing prior to.
And so, first of all, when she saw Mario and Ramona, she said to us, now, what did he die from?
How did he die?
How did he die?
Of Mario.
Of Mario.
Now we scream and ask her, what are you possibly saying? Mario lives on God's green earth.
with another woman. I mean, he's dead to us, but he's not dead.
She thought Mario was dead, which is amazing. And then the best. So we're seeing the count with the dad bod count. And he's, looking, his little squatty body is walking around. And she goes, so we're like, oh God, it's so weird. Luann was married to him. And she goes, what? Thought that was the grandpa. Just
out of the mouth of babes.
Fresh eyes.
Fresh eyes. And I'm so glad we get to watch it with April because it has been a breath of fresh air.
People say this about Mad Men and The Sopranos and Breaking Bad, which is like if I could just go back and watch it for the first time.
And when we watch it with April, we are. And it's but just like some thoughts, some random notes.
I was surprised how secure the footing was. Now, you disagree with me on this point.
What do you mean?
It just felt like right out of the gate, it was something. Now, I'm not saying you're right. You made the point that like they're not getting them together. The women aren't arguing, but we're building something here.
That is true. We are right out of the gate, strong personalities, and we know we have some
we're making America great again.
Yes, we are. We know that we have some strong personalities, and they're all going to have to deal with each other. Mm-hmm. They set the stage.
We're meeting nannies. We're meeting tennis pros. We're meeting housekeepers.
I did notice that in these early episodes, like a tennis pro would give a testimonial, which you would never see
We're
now.
Not letting the riffraff get in front of the camera
why
now.
Why should they get a camera in front of them? Why should they get 10 seconds of our time? But back then, it was like anyone who like grabbed a camera and put it on themselves would get a testimonial, which I thought was quite interesting.
Yeah, did you see the tennis pro's hand was out because he's holding the camera himself? It was a wild. It just, you know what? It made me remember how much I hate Jill. I forgot.
I have bad taste in hairdos, as we know, from my love of Lisa Rinna's hair. I also, I'm going to say something.
No, Danielle, I know what you're going to say, and honestly, I won't have it. I won't have it. And you saw that bump that she's doing.
I love Jill Zarin's hair.
Danielle,
I'm sorry, guys. I think I have just bad taste when it comes to hair.
You have a Jersey, Florida sensibility.
Yes, it is. It's in me. It's ingrained. I have like 90s hair, kind of like.
I feel like something happened when you were bullied and like your fashion and hair sense stopped
in its tracks. Growing.
That woman took so much from you.
I know she did, including my sense of hair. Know that I still have good hair, right, Casey?
You look great. That's why it's so crazy that it's like you can't see
But I don't
others.
have the hair I want. I have the hair society wants me to have. But I don't have the hair that I desire, which is Jill Zarin or Lisa Rinna.
Well, look, you guys, you should Google image Danielle in Housewives season 1 because that hair is, I believe, what you want to have for yourself.
Gorgeous.
A Jersey do.
Yeah, like huge, big
locks.
Yeah, locks of love.
And I have the hair I'd like to have in season 1.
Oh yeah, blonde, huge roots,
huge roots, big boobs, and a name like Tawny is how I wish.
That's how we all picture ourselves.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite quotes from Ramona, because Ramona is still Ramona. Ramona looks gorgeous though.
They're harnessing her. She's like a horse that they're holding back.
A racehorse that's just like still in the stall. But she does say one great comment. She goes, as she's packing, of course, because even episode 1, we're watching them pack, and that's what
one
I
producer
love.
was like, "What should they do? Pack, I guess."
And then it became like a staple, and I love it. He knew. He was a genius, whoever you are.
And why are we saying it's a he, Danielle?
You're right.
Wow.
Guys.
Wow.
Wow. It all comes out.
It probably was.
I'm going to blame the bully again. But she goes, you can never have enough short skirts in the Hamptons.
As she's wearing a lime green tutu skirt, and Ramona has an amazing body.
Amazing.
I don't find this style as flattering on her.
No, it's not.
And while she's saying that, she's holding up an even more abhorrent pair of lime green short shorts.
And a part of me was like, is this just 10 years ago? And I'm like, no, Ramona's fashion sense has never been on point. Mm-hmm. Like, that's just never been her high point.
And it's interesting. When I first watched the show, I remember Avery being this like little firecracker that I was like, yes, Avery. But now I'm like, Avery seems very staged. Avery's reaction when she's walking into the house with Ramona.
It feels like how the Gorgas are now, how Jessica Chaffin talked about last week, how like it seems a little staged and like, oh, the kids are annoyed by their crazy parents. Yeah. It does feel a little staged.
It's like, let's flip the script. It's the kids that are smart. I'll tell you. Then we get some Luann.
Luann, who honestly was
Never looked better.
She was simple, not a big bangle in sight. I think there was one
She had a big moonstone.
Yes, one moonstone. So we saw the beginnings of who the Countess was going to be.
And that's what this was, the beginnings. Now,
Yeah.
you made such a, I thought, astute observation, which is that I started by simply saying, I felt like watching this, it was so interesting. It was as though they made this show in 2006 and said, God, they're really going to get a fucking kick out of what's happening now.
Yeah, in 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said it was sort of like
2016,
they had done like
excuse
a Rashomon style. Like it was kind of like we had seen the past and the present. Isn't that what Rashomon is?
Yes, it was
I might
also
be wrong. I'm not a
fortuitous, and
filmmaker.
yet it was like the comments, everything I was, of course, bouncing off what we know now.
Yeah, but Bill, it was
so
like
it had layers.
Yeah, and it was all building to now. Like one of the first lines out of Ramona's mouth was, "I have a great relationship with my husband Mario," and it was like, ouch,
That one hurt.
That hurt because we're also in vet. We know their journey.
And then to see Bethany with Jason #1, R.I.P.
Her taste in men is now. I'm starting to question. She likes men that aren't enough for her.
A weaker man.
A weaker man.
Yeah.
And so
to see Bethany in that efficiency kitchen cooking, but I actually found Bethany to be much softer.
yeah, she was, and she was sort of like, oh, everyone
What
goes
she
to the
lacked in
Hamptons.
space in her kitchen, she
made up for in softness,
Yeah.
and now the tables have turned a bit.
April said the funniest thing at the end. It was just so naive and simple.
Again, we love it.
From the mouth of Mills, she's like, wow. So it's like, wow, Bethany like has everything they wanted then, but like she has it now.
We were like, like it hit like in my heart.
It's like, yeah, it is a pretty interesting reversal, especially to see the previews where Bethany's in the, that famous scene with Luann in the car and she's like, Mrs. Delasap's.
Oh, yes. That was like, oh my God.
Because the Countess thinks she's so above, the Countess has no idea she's going to be sharing a fifth floor walk up with son.
With no heat. No heat, no hot water.
Fucking Tom and whatever comes through. She has no idea, and it's sad.
No, it's not. And now she, in the first episode, she's in some $8 million townhouse, and she's a countess, and she's wearing like a smart sweater piece, and like her hair looks like kind of together. She is kind of a bit Jackie O.
She seems more grounded,
and now her voice has gotten deeper since I think you pointed out that she was kind of light and airy back then.
Well, I think it was that she's putting on this whole thing, and that was like her character. And slowly we have literally seen it strip away and peel away like a wallpaper over time. And what we're left with is just a rusted pipe.
I just hit my guys. That laugh made me hit my face. And
You mentioned something that happened in stand-up with the mic.
Oh yes, I have been doing comedy.
Conservatively,
I say that, but comedy for about 20 years now, and I have never used. I've never really learned how to use a mic.
Mic technique,
And,
they
mic
call
technique. And a few years ago, I pulled a mic out during a stand-up routine and hit my tooth and chipped a tooth mid-routine and went on with the show. An unpaid show, too.
But I'm sure that tooth cost quite a
Oh,
pretty
yeah. Sure did. And then I swallowed that part of the tooth.
No.
Went right on with my yucks.
You're like Sonia, just dropping teeth and taking
Yeah, but
names.
hers are rotting out of her mouth from uncare. Like mine, I had an accident.
Speaking of rotting out of her mouth due to uncare, we are introduced again to Alex and Simon.
Guys.
Oh my God, seeing them, it got my blood racing. I was just so thrilled. I miss them.
I do, but I don't.
What? They need to come back.
No, I disagree. Because if they were back, I would want to tear my hair out. I hated how he sort of controlled her. You never see a testimonial without him in it. That's so strange.
Because she's like a little robotic woman that they needed him in the beginning. They said, we really want him, but this is a show about housewives, so we'll take her.
I think he was like, oh, are you guys filming here? I'm just going to sneak my little head in. Like, I think it was all him. Like, I think they were just like, like he like quit his career as a hotel manager or
the
whatever.
hotel chandler.
Which was the saddest lobby I've ever seen. They tried to make it seem like he would talk about it like they were the richest people in the world, but that lobby to me looked like a Best Western in Midtown at best. And believe me, that's what I can afford. But if you're going to St. Butts or whatever you are,
And you're saying it's this boutique hotel.
yeah, like where are you affording that?
And you're naming your kids Francois and Johan.
And forcing them to speak French, which they do not speak. Wake up, guys. Those guys are going to kill the parents in their sleep because they are like, I don't want to speak French.
I just remember the shock that I felt when I first saw them and the anger, and it was all came right back to me.
They angered me. The shopping together.
Oh, so disgusting. And she's so uncomfortable, yet they're the most self-conscious people on camera. Jill Zarin, who I hate, I will give her this. She's just living out loud on camera.
Yeah. She has the confidence of a different person.
Yes.
When she is there. Like, she has all the confidence in the world.
The confidence of a different person.
She does. She's just like, the world is mine.
I wish I had that confidence.
Me too, every day. But what would Zarin do is what we should be asking ourselves.
I mean, and so actually seeing now that she was kicked off the show, I'm actually having a level of understanding of how much that hit her.
Oh, it did. And
that hit her hard.
When I was on Watch What Happens Live, name drop.
Stop bragging.
Bartender. Got to say 2 words. And but I had asked, Andy said, do you have any questions? And I was like, of course. I don't even know if he had them. It was me that should have a question, but I raised my hand.
They're like, the camera's not on. Go ahead.
But he was like, I said, is there anything that you saw coming and you were like, this is not going to be good, like that you wish you could stop because you saw it as like kind of like being on the ground floor?
I love how deep you went. He was probably
I know.
Gulp.
No, but I felt like he'd been waiting to answer this question. And he said, I knew what Jill was going to do to Bethany, and I didn't think it was going to go in her favor. I'm
Jill's
paraphrasing.
favor.
Yeah, I'm paraphrasing. And I think he even said, and again, I'm probably getting some of this wrong because I can't remember. This was like about a year ago.
No worries.
But
I don't care if you're getting it all wrong.
Words in our God's mouth.
You may.
But
I'll listen to it like truth.
I saw it coming, and I said to Jill, are you sure you want to do this? Because I don't think that this is what you want. I don't think this is how you're going to want this to go. And Jill moved ahead, and it did not go in her favor.
It did not go in her favor.
I think she thought the world was going to get onto her side, and creating this kind of rift was going to have the world follow her, but it did not. And so you get to see the startings of that. Like, she was just too ambitious or something, and like wanting that sort of
too
all
much
for herself.
pattern on that Zarin fabric.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, and Allie, get away, Allie, run as far as you can.
Honestly, those
away.
scenes I thought were heartbreaking.
They were.
It was so upsetting. It's like her mom is putting all this pressure on her clearly to lose weight. We said multiple times, I think she's adorable.
Yes, she looks
great.
Gorgeous
She's 14
whatever.
Yeah.
She's a gorgeous girl. Her figure is great.
And then she's having to kind of like kowtow to this weird ass stepdad and beg for him to send her to a detox in a private plane. I mean, it's just humiliating.
It was so gross. And just to say he's not cold, he's not nice, like to say to her college, like Jill's college friend, like the first episode.
A woman who's endlessly cutting melon and trying to talk to Allie Melon's side.
You literally, Kizzy said, how much melon is she cutting?
And I know that wasn't the crux of the scene, but it felt like it.
It was a lot of melon, too much melon.
And every time we cut back, she was like getting in there.
I was like, is this editing or is this another melon? It was a lot of melon for such a serious scene.
Yeah, it was. And then when they're forcing Allie to go give Bobby a hug, something's going on there. It is so uncomfortable. It feels so weird. I just think Bobby, although, I don't know. Bobby he creeps me a bit.
Me too. And I also feel like, I hope Allie, you're in a better place right now. Like,
I think she is.
I really hope she's like,
you know what? She put her kid on television when she's 14, and that's unconscionable.
Yeah.
I wish my parents had done it.
Oh, I would have. I begged for it every day. Had there been YouTube when I was 14, I would have been.
I remember looking at Family Ties and being like, how did they get in there?
Oh, me
Those
too.
kids in that TV.
There was something shooting in Orlando when I lived in South Florida, and I was like, how do I get there?
My dad took me an audition for our local town, did The Miracle Worker. Mm-hmm. So I was playing Helen Keller. In the audition, I never played her. And I was so excited to be auditioning, and I'm in the car, and then I get there, and they give you like a little monologue to read, and I was young, and I'm like, I mean, and this is, I think, the hardest audition to this day I've ever done. Mm-hmm. They wanted me to read the monologue, which I'm just getting, so I have to read it, but I have to be blind. And that was my struggle. You know, she had hers and I had mine. So I was trying to pretend I would read and then to pretend to be blind, and it was hard.
Did you get the part?
No.
I again did like local community theater.
Sure.
But then I went to a theater camp. There were 90 women and 10 men. Or 90 girls and 10 boys. So all the boys got great parts and all the girls were struggling, which is
story
like the
of
real
our
world,
life.
like the real world. But anyway, a movie scout came scouting for a big movie. I'm not even kidding though. Like came to town scouting for a big movie. It was like right outside of Boston.
Yeah.
And we all auditioned, every girl. And I got a call back.
You did? Were you
the
so
movie
excited?
Was called Little Monsters with One Fred Savage as
who you've now worked with.
Who I have now worked with.
Oh, wow. That's
But I
amazing.
literally got a call back.
Did you tell Fred this?
I don't think I did. I should tell him the story. But he's the biggest star. He was like huge. I got a call back. Like 3 of us from the camp got a call back, and I was like, this is it. I am going to have to go to Hollywood. I'm going to have to move.
And then you were like, this is my burden.
And literally, like, for months, I would be like waiting for the phone to ring. And
then Little Monsters came out.
Little Monsters came out with, I think, like Jenny Lewis of Rilo Kiley and Fred Savage.
That's how I still am with parts of it. If I don't hear and like the movies come out, I'm like, I think they're still going to call.
Yeah, but I just remember like that was like the biggest like Scarlett O'Hara search of the nation. And I was like, I'm going to be the lead in Little Monsters.
To be frank, I've never heard of Little Monsters, but I want to see it.
But
I want to see
Savage, if you're listening, I almost started in a movie with you.
Another line that I misheard, which I think was kind of interesting, was Ramona said, and Ramona's talking very slow in this episode. I think they must have been like, we can't understand you. And then they realized later on, like, who gives a fuck? Like, the way she talks is crazy. But she goes, there's a sadness that comes to living in New York City. And I'm like, oh my God, profound. But really, she said there's a savviness.
Yes.
That comes. So that was just a mistake.
Yeah, but there is a sadness. There's a sadness and a savviness that comes.
Jill name checks Donald Trump. I mean, every piece of it was like, wow, like I don't know, it was a weird time capsule. What year was this? This was 2008.
So it's only like 8 years ago. Guys, I did math.
I was pressing my fingers into my jeans. I was like,
8 years ago, guys. And like so much has changed and yet nothing has changed.
All I've written in my notes is he manages Hotel Chandler.
Casey, talk about what you saw in the previews for next week. Or for season 1 of New York, the second episode of season 1. Casey goes, we're wrapping up. It's just like the next week's scenes are happening. Like, you know what I mean? Not next week's, but like next week's in 2008. And Casey's looking down. She's not even looking at the television.
Oh, this was good. This was
not
so good.
even looking. She's like writing something.
And he's
into her
not even
phone.
on screen.
And he's not even on screen. And then Casey perks up like a dog, ears up, and she goes, "That's Tom. That's Tom's voice. That's Tom." It's Luann's fiancé, Tom. Now, we know that he had popped up. We had heard that he had popped up in earlier seasons, but Casey recognized him by voice.
Look, when you meet Tom, you don't forget Tom. And I do feel, and I would like to play this, I feel like if people played me like 10 different like guys, and I'm talking randos from all over, and just let me listen, I feel like I could do a pretty good job. And I don't want to brag, but I do think I could. But that was a really proud moment.
That was incredible. Yeah. You didn't even see his face.
What I did see was Alex's bare ass.
Yes, you did.
And St. Bart's monster claw hands.
And has also like this penis shape, like just the neck of his penis.
It was all neck.
It was all penis neck.
And you know it's like shaved really close.
And just like
prickly.
Her ass and his penis neck.
And like, I feel like a producer was like, just play with your kid. And so they're like, okay, we're great parents. And he's running around and poor Johan
Oh, and when they show Johan like in that opening of them, like with the kids, and he's in like a 3-piece suit. It was
he's like 4.
I know. It's like, just let him be in a romper, guys.
It was just so much going on. I'm trying to think, who are we forgetting? I mean, and Luann was in the middle of the kind of promo image.
Yes.
It's just all of it is so, I don't know. I got nostalgic.
Yeah, I did too, for a different life,
Made
a simpler life.
Simpler life. Time passes, and it got me thinking, like, where was I in 2008? And I have no idea.
Well, I did watch a beat of the Olympics. We had it on for a minute in the house, and I remembered being 16, watching the Olympics and watching the gymnastics, and there was a girl there that I was like, oh my God, she's this like Romanian girl or something, and she is still competing today. She's like she vaults today. So she's like my age, vaulting today, and which is incredible because, neither of us are spring chickens. But I said to myself, like, forgetting that we were the same age, I said to myself, like, oh, she's not looking good. And then I was like, none of us look good. I was like, all of us are aging. But like,
God bless her.
Yeah, she's still vaulting. But yeah, so... Anyway.
And I have the utmost respect for the Olympics.
As do we all. Are we going to...
I can't watch them because it's so much to wrap my head around. The players, I know, I love them and I support them.
I know that Michael
And
Phelps,
I want the Olympics to succeed.
Of course.
And I want America to succeed.
And guess what? The Olympics are succeeding because I believe they make a lot of money.
I just personally have there's so much energetic, only so much I can take on.
Yeah, and again, this is my sports, and I stand by that.
I know.
And I think
but it
that's
doesn't mean
okay.
I don't want the Olympics to succeed.
I do. I want a lot of things to succeed.
Yeah.
Just not at the expense of my Bravo.
Yeah.
And I think we can
I'll agree
go out
on that. Yeah, that's beautiful words. What an episode. I mean, this was an emotional, this was like a Ramona
emotional.
coaster.
Yeah, this was a Ramona coaster. I went down to some high highs and some low lows.
We really did.
I don't know if it was the modern alchemy that took us here. I didn't throw up.
And I'm going to tell you right now, I bet you that Facebook group digs up that girl.
Oh, I bet they do.
I'm scared.
And I have to say, like, I didn't physically throw up, but I believe I'm emotionally threw up, and that was the modern alchemy.
I think modern alchemy had its way with you. But maybe it cleared something for real. It feels like something was
clearing
cleared.
tonic. It was a clearing tonic, Casey.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I feel very clear. And you know I've had my rosé.
Yeah,
I feel clear.
I do too.
Good night, Danielle.
Good night, sweet prince. Let's say thank you to April.
Thank you to April Mouton, as always. It was amazing. Loose. July, everyone at Earwolf.
And thank you.
Thank you guys for listening. We
Yes.
appreciate it. Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.
My name is Katie Couric. I love to talk and I love to ask questions. Have you always been a feminazi like me, Rebecca?
Yes, I was born a feminazi.
There is so much coming at us fast and furiously every day, but I don't think anybody's explaining it very well. And that's why I wanted to do this podcast.
Right now in the polls, Hillary beats Donald Trump.
I know, but
Hands
polls
down.
schmoles, Esther,
Right.
to go a little deeper than the wrestling match that you currently see on cable television.
It does make you think that what we do here is important to generations beyond us.
So listen, subscribe, and let's help each other figure out what's going on.
This has been an Earwolf production, executive produced by Scott Aukerman and Chris Bannon. For more information and content, visit earwolf.com.